Right, as the camera set up. So what we have here is a 17 Remington fireball case. This is Remington brass. It's just about all you can get anyway. And this is a fireform case. It's been fired in my rifle, which is a custom 700, a rebarreled fireball. Now has a custom stainless 22-inch 1 in 9 twist barrel on it, heavy contour, and it's been reamed with a match chamber, so it's got very tight tolerances. Now this is a 25 grain VMAX bullet there, and what I'm going to do, as you can see in this particular case, it quite easily slides in and out of that case. There's a little bit of tension there, but not a great deal. Now of course I prefer to only neck size. It's a real pain having to lube your cases, then size them, full length resize them, clean them all off afterwards, clean out the inside of the necks, and it's just so time consuming. I do like to use COLLET dies if I can. Now this die here is a Lee COLLET die. As most of you will know, they do not make a COLLET die for the 17 fireball, but this is the COLLET die that they make for the 17 Remington. So what I'm going to do is show you how I use this die to resize the neck only on the fireball case, which of course is way too short for this die normally. So I'm going to screw the die in. Been using these before, so we'll just screw that in there. This is the Lee Classic press, as some of you will probably know. Now the next step is here we have a Reading shell holder for 223, 204, 222, 221 fireball, 17 fireball case head. Number 10 in Reading, or Lee, the shell holder would be a number 4, but they don't really do an extended one. Now I'll take these shims off. Now what you can see here is that this particular shell holder has been turned down on a lathe to remove some of the outside, and it's been turned down about 330 thou from the top, and it is now a 1/2 inch diameter where the case is supported. So roughly we've taken off about, originally it was 3/4 of an inch diameter, so roughly it's had a good 1/4 of an inch taken off, turned off, down 330 thou. But it does change. We have got some shims here which I'll show you what they're for. As you can see, the case just sits in there like so. So what we have to do is put our shell holder in as normal. Another little thing I want to show you, I just unscrew the cap out the top of the die. This is the cap from the top of the die, the 17 Rem die. As you can see, I've had a small recess drilled, machined into the inside of the die. They're aluminium, so they're fairly easy to do, of about 320 thou. That's roughly about 8mm in. It doesn't go all the way through the cap. This is to allow the mandrel, I'll remove it from the die. Here's the mandrel. Now because this is obviously a die for 17 Remington, the mandrel is too long for the fireball case, and if you don't make a recess in the cap so the mandrel can move back, all that happens is that the mandrel will bottom out inside the die and smash against the inside of the case, before it's actually got to the point of even decapping it and knocking out and resizing. I'll put that back in there. Going to screw the cap back on. So that's the only mod to the die, is the recess in the cap. Now these shims I have here, each one is 10 thou thickness, and I can use these shims over the shoulder of the shell holder here. There's 2 more. Each one is 10 thou thickness, so in total I've got 4 on there, which is 40 thou. By adjusting how many of these I put on, I can either size less or more by 10 thou increments of the neck of the case. It isn't always necessary to size the whole neck. For accuracy, sometimes the top part of the shoulder where it meets the neck has got a slight kind of curve in it, and depending on your chamber, and you'll find that only by sizing about 80 to 90% of the neck, this helps the fireform brass to be more in alignment with the bore. Now a lot of people do that these days. Now of course this is all very well if you've got your calculations right, but does it work? So here we have a fired fireball case. See the primer there. So we're just going to drop that in there, bring it up into the die, and as you can see now it's just gone past the top of the original part of the shell holder where it would have stopped there. So now the case is going further into the die, so of course it will allow the neck part of the fireball case to come into contact with the neck sizing part of the 17 rem collet die. Otherwise of course it would never go far enough into the collet to meet that part for sizing. And it's just engaged with the primer, so a bit of pressure on there and we've knocked out the primer, and now all we need is a bit of pressure on it, and I'll just turn the case a bit up again, a little bit more pressure, and out we go. And there is our deprimed and neck sized only case. No lube before, no lube after, so no cleaning inside outside the neck there really required. Here's our VMAX bullet, and if I just put it there it will not go all the way in. Turn it round, and there. It's just giving us about 1 to 1.5 thou of tension, which is really all that's needed. So there we go, a damn sight easier than the process I used to use. I will take another one, put it in, up we go. I'll do this gently just to make sure it all aligns. We've hit the primer, down we go, primer's out, bit of pressure, just turn it again back up into the die, bit more pressure, out, and there we go, and another one done. Simple as that. Here's another one, just do one more up into the die, just make sure it gets aligned. There it is, primer, pressure, primer out, bit of a squeeze, round with the case, back up, in we go, bit more pressure, and out. And again, that's another one sized quite nicely there. So there we go, no more lubing cases, messing around, cleaning them off, cleaning inside the necks to get the lube off or any of that. And the good thing about a collet die, of course, is you don't really get any case neck stretching, and it's a lot more better for those quite fiddly little jobs. And there we are. So that's how you can use your 17 Remington collet die with a slightly modified shell holder and slightly modified cap to neck size only 17 fireball brass.